For decades, there's been this one big assumption in the business world that protecting the planet and turning a profit, well, they just don't mix. We're here to explain why that's just not true anymore and to really unpack what this new world of green business looks like.
And here it is, right? This is the big one. The idea that being environmentally responsible is some kind of luxury, an expensive add-on that just eats into your bottom line. It's been the default argument for years. You can be profitable or you can be green, but no way can you be both.
But what if that whole way of thinking is just wrong? What if we've been looking at it completely backwards this whole time? That's the question we're really digging into today. What if the real financial risk, the one that could actually cripple a company, is ignoring the environment altogether?
Okay, so let's just tackle this myth head on. For years, it's been framed like you have to pick one, planet or profit. But as we're about to see, the most innovative companies out there are proving it was never really a choice to begin with. This quote right here, it really signals a massive shift in thinking. Industry leaders are no longer looking at green policies as just some PR move or a bureaucratic headache. They're starting to realize it's actually a powerful engine for innovation, for efficiency, and for real tangible growth. All right, let's look at a great example of this in action. The science and technology company DuPont started taking this stuff seriously way back in 1991. Nobody was forcing them to. They just chose to get ahead of the curve, investing millions to update their facilities and slash their emissions. And here's the payoff, $3 billion. That's not a cost, that's a massive saving. By cutting their energy use and totally rethinking their processes, they didn't just help the planet, they boosted their bottom line in a huge way. It just goes to show this isn't about sacrifice, it's about being smart. So if going green can actually save you money, then what's the cost of not going green? Well, as we're about to see, the risks aren't some abstract thing anymore. They have very real price tags attached. And let's be clear, the science on this is settled. The Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, the IPCC, has stated in no uncertain terms that greenhouse gases from human activity are warming our atmosphere. This isn't up for debate. It's the fundamental context for doing business today. So what does that warming actually mean in dollars and cents? Just take a look at this number, $150 billion. And that's just the projected cost from hurricanes in the US alone. This kind of financial chaos from extreme weather is going to hit every single industry, from insurance and construction all the way down to your supply chains.
And it goes way beyond the financial cost. Look at the human cost. 200 million? That's how many people could be displaced by mid-century. Think about that. That represents a level of global instability and disruption that will create challenges for businesses like we've never seen before. And it hits us right at the source, our most basic resources. A 1/3 drop in crop yields across an entire continent. I mean, just think about what that means for global food supplies, for commodity prices, and for the raw materials that countless businesses rely on. The cost of doing nothing is a direct threat to the stability of the entire global economy. Okay, so the risks are pretty clear, but what's the solution? Well, it's going to require a fundamental shift in how businesses operate. It means we need a whole new blueprint for success. For pretty much the last century, we've been stuck in this linear model you see on the left. We take resources, we make something, and then we throw it away. It's like a one-way straight to the landfill. The new model is cyclical. It's a closed loop. It starts to treat waste as a valuable resource and thinks about the entire life cycle of a product from day one. The big shift is this. We have to stop thinking in straight lines and start thinking in circles. And this is how you actually build that circular thinking right into your business. It's not a one-and-done fix. It's a continuous cycle of improvement. You start by figuring out where you are, defining where you want to go, and then you make a clear plan to get there, constantly checking in and making it better along the way. Now, I know that might sound a little abstract, so let's zoom in and get really practical. We'll break it down into a concrete, actionable plan with the first 3 steps any business can take to get started. First things first, you have to know where you stand. Think of a green audit just like a financial audit, but instead of tracking dollars, you're tracking your environmental impact. It's a really thorough, honest look in the mirror that gives you the hard data you need to find your biggest challenges and your biggest opportunities. And you can break that audit down into different areas to get the full picture. You could do an energy audit to find savings, a waste audit to see if you can turn your trash into a resource, or even a compliance audit to make sure you're staying ahead of new regulations. Each one shows you a new way to be a smarter business. Okay, this part is absolutely critical. A green strategy isn't something you can just dictate from the top down. It has to be a real cultural shift. You've got to get your whole team involved, make them part of the solution, and actually listen to their ideas. When people feel like they're part of something positive, the impact on morale is just huge. And if you want proof, look at this. When the biotech company Genzyme built a brand new green headquarters, nearly 60% of their employees said they were more productive. They also saw sick days drop by 5%. See? A green workplace isn't just good for the planet, it's good for your people and how they perform. All right, so you've got your audit data and your team is fired up. Now it's time to get specific. Vague promises like, we'll do better, just won't cut it. You have to set clear, measurable, and actionable goals that will actually guide your strategy and let you see if you're making progress. So, for example, instead of just saying, we want to reduce emissions, you say, we will reduce our emissions by 10% this year. Instead of, we'll waste less, it's, we will cut our waste by 30% in 2 years. These are real targets that drive real action. Okay, so let's bring all this together. This isn't just about trying to adapt to some new reality. This is about leading the way into the future of business itself. At the end of the day, the big takeaway is this. That old fight between profitability and sustainability, it's over. The smart, resilient, and forward-thinking companies already know that these two things are deeply intertwined. A green strategy isn't a niche idea anymore. It's just plain good business strategy. Which really leaves us with one last question to think about. If this is the new blueprint for success, what will the businesses that truly win in the coming decades actually look like? They'll be the ones that see this not as a burden, but as the single greatest opportunity of our time.